Take the knees wide so that as you come forward, you get a little bit more flexion at the hip. The chest can come forward, and then you relax your forehead either on the floor or on your hands. If you've been running around a lot or even your lower back is feeling really stiff, bring your knees together so that when you fold forward, that'll bring a release for your lower back. If child's pose is just really not your pose at all, please feel free to lie on your back. And what you can do is come into wind expeller where you're hugging one knee in, because this is essentially the same shape as child's pose, where you're still going to get that stretch and release through the back body. So as you start to settle into this shape, it's noticing how you are feeling in your physical body this morning. As your body starts to settle in and relax, it's bringing your awareness to your breath and breathing in and out through the nostrils. Noticing the air cool in the nostrils when you breathe in and warm in the nostrils when you breathe out. Noticing where your body gently moves as you breathe in and out. And if you have an intention that you're already working towards, you can bring to mind that intention, or setting yourself an intention for today or for the weekend. If you're setting a new intention, word it as if it's already so. Start it with I am. And then repeating it to yourself 3 times. And then once you've set your intention, if you're lying on your back, bring both knees in towards your chest. Roll to the right. Press your hands into the floor, coming up. If you're in child's pose, press your hands into the floor, lifting up, and come around sitting on your buttocks. Sitting up on a cushion or a folded blanket if you're needing a little bit more lift to the hips so that you can sit with a comfortable seat, neutral spine. And then bringing your palms together in the heart center. Take a deep breath in, lifting your chest. If it's comfortable in the neck, lifting your chin. Interlace the fingers as you exhale, pressing the palms forward, dropping your chin towards your chest, spreading your shoulder blades. Inhale, lifting the palms up, lengthening through the side bodies. And then exhale, releasing the arms behind. Interlace the fingers behind, reach the knuckles down, lift and open the chest. You can lift your chin if that's comfortable in the neck. And then exhaling, bringing the hands back to the heart center. Inhale, lifting your chest, lifting your chin. Exhale, pressing the palms forward, rounding through the back. Lifting the palms up, lengthen. You can lift your chin here too if that's comfortable. And then releasing the arms, interlace the fingers behind. Use the strength of your arms to broaden across the chest, open the front of the shoulders. And exhaling, hands back to the heart center. Just do a couple more of those, moving with the rhythm of your own breath. You can have your eyes opened or closed, whatever feels more comfortable for you. Just really checking in with how you're feeling this morning. Feel free to add any extra movement in there if you want. Once you finish the round that you're on now, just pausing with your palms at the heart center. And repeating your intention to yourself once more. And opening the eyes, inhale, lifting the arms up. Exhale and twisting to the right, holding onto your right knee with your left hand. Just pressing into the fingertips of your right hand behind. Relax your shoulders, press down through the sit bones and lift up and reach for the crown of your head. And then to deepen the twist, move your right shoulder back, getting a little bit more opening into your chest. And your next inhale, come back through the center and exhale, twist over to the left. Holding onto your left knee with your right hand, left hand coming behind. Anchor down through the sit bones, reach and lift through the crown of the head. And then opening into the chest, moving your left shoulder back. And releasing to the front, extending both legs out in front. Sitting up high on your sit bones, have the knees bent, feet and knees about hips distance apart, flexing the feet, turn the palms to face you, and then inhale, rowing back, just far enough that you can feel it in your abdominals, but there's no strain in your lower back. And then exhale, folding forwards. Then inhale, rowing back. Imagine here your heels are glued to the floor and try and lift your knees to lift the chest and fold forward. Then inhale, rowing back. Exhale, try and lift the knees, activating your psoas muscles to fold forward. This time as you row back, pause and hold back in the row. Relax your shoulders. Just come to a place that's comfortable. There's no strain in your lower back. You can feel your abdominals activated, but there's no strain. There's a calm ease about your breath. Shoulders, neck, and jaw are relaxed. A little bit more heat being generated in the body with the core muscles activated. Next, exhale, folding forward, just resting your belly over your thighs, chest over your knees. Let your head hang and relax. Let your shoulders soften. And then inhale, lifting the chest, feet flexed, rolling back. This time on the exhale, bring hands underneath the shoulders, slide the feet in a little closer, lifting your hips, coming into reverse table. Then inhale, lowering the hips down, bend the knees, flex the feet and folding forwards. Belly to thigh, chest to knees, let the head hang. Inhale, rolling back, pressing through the hands, pressing through the feet to reverse table. Inhale, lowering the hips back down, bend the knees, folding forwards. And again, rolling back. Press the hands, press the feet, lifting the hips, pause and hold in your reverse table. If this isn't comfortable for your wrist, please feel free to lower the hips to the floor and you can push through your fists to get a lift through the chest. Imagine if you're in reverse table, imagine you've got a $2 coin between your butt cheeks and drop it to the floor so you're not clenching your butt cheeks. Eye gaze to your belly, watch the rise and the fall of your belly as you breathe in and out. Then inhale, lowering the hips down, and exhale, folding forwards. Just relaxing over your legs. Let your head drop, your shoulders soften. And then inhale, lifting your chest. Come around onto your hands and knees into tabletop. And from tabletop, shift the hands one whole hand's distance further forward. Bend the elbows, tuck the toes, and lift your hips up into down dog. As you lift the hips into down dog, keep the knees slightly bent so that as you push through the hands, you get a depth in the hips crease and more length in the spine. Heels pressing towards the floor. Give your head a little yes-no action if you like, just relaxing the neck muscles. And moving on the breath, inhale, lower the knees to the floor. Keep your hands where they are. And exhale, send your hips back towards your heels to child's pose. Unfurl up on hands and knees into cow. Bend the elbows, tuck the toes. Lift the hips up high into down dog. And then inhale, lowering your knees to the floor. Exhale, sending your hips back towards your heels. Coming back up on hands and knees again. Bend the elbows, tuck the toes, lift up into down dog. Pause in your down dog. Lift your right leg into the three-legged dog. Now pause here. Look back at your right foot, all 5 toes pointing towards the floor, and really reach through your heel. So press through the hands to get a little bit more reach through the heel. Keep the hips where they are, the whole body where it is. As you exhale, just draw your knee in towards your chest. Squeeze your knee in. This is your psoas muscle that's squeezing your knee in. And then inhale, reach right back into three-legged dog. So keep the head relaxed, eye gaze looking back towards your foot. And then exhale, squeeze your knee in. Squeeze it in. Inhale, reaching back, three-legged dog. It's time to squeeze the knee in. Lift right up onto the ball of your left foot. Lift the heel of your right palm and step through. Heel, ball, toe landing. High lunge. Now we've been upside down for a little while, so bend the back knee. Lift the head, look forwards. Normalize the blood pressure. Then press down through the feet. You don't want to get all dizzy coming up. Then once you're up there, take the arms to where it's comfortable. Could be shoulder width apart or a little wider or cactus arms, or you might even want to have hands on your hips today. Wherever feels comfortable for your shoulders. Bend the back knee, come a little bit lower towards the floor. Steady the eye gaze on one point. And inhale, releasing hands to the floor, step back into down dog. And down dog, lifting the left leg into the air, three-legged dog. Take a moment here, look back at your left foot, all 5 toes pointing towards the floor. Push through the hands to get a little bit more reach through your heel. Keep the whole body as it is, except the left knee squeezes in towards your chest. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze it in. Inhale, reaching back, three-legged dog. So the shoulders don't move, the upper body doesn't move. Exhale, squeeze the knee in. Once more, reaching back. Exhale, squeeze the knee in. Lift up onto the ball of the right foot. Lift the heel of your left palm. Heel, ball, toe landing. So look after our knee. Help it through if you need to. Feet are back, hips distance. Bend the back knee. Lift the head, look forwards. Normalize the blood pressure. And then slowly coming up into high lunge. Bend the back knee. Come a little bit closer towards the floor. Find your neutral pelvis where you're not letting your breakfast fall out on the floor, but you're not clenching your butt cheeks together either. So somewhere in between. Lifting your breastbone. Steady the eye gaze on one point. And then releasing hands to the floor. Step your back foot into forward fold. Inhale to half forward fold. Press the floor away, rising all the way up. And exhaling hands to the heart center. Lifting arms up overhead. Bending your knees, folding forwards, belly to thigh, chest to knees, chin to chest. Half forward fold. Step your left foot back, a long lunge back. Anchor the back heel down. Setting up for warrior two. Front heel lines up with the middle arch of the back foot. Front knee stacks over the ankle. Press into the feet and unfurl and open out. Now glance down at your right knee and check that it's lined up with the center of your front foot. So seeing your big toe, second toe, maybe a little of the third toe. If you can't see your big toe, try moving your left hip around to the front more. Line up the knee and then push into your left foot, into your back foot. Reach out through the fingertips. Bring your left hand to your left shoulder and then open your chest by reaching your left shoulder back. And then open the arm out, extending it out. Steady your eye gaze down the front, middle finger. Finding the balance of effort and ease. Pressing down through the feet, reaching up through the crown of the head. Noticing your breath, where your body moves as you breathe in and out. And then releasing your arms down. Turn to the side so that you're side on your mat. And then turn both of the feet to face out. Toes facing out, heels are slightly in. Take a deep breath in, lifting the arms up. And then exhale, coming into goddess pose. And we're going to move on the breath here a couple of times before landing here. So release the arms down, cross them in front. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, arms out to the side, sit the hips back and down into goddess. Release the arms down, cross them in front, straighten the legs as you take the arms up overhead, inhaling, exhaling, elbows out to the side, hips sitting back and down into goddess. Do that a couple more times, just moving with the rhythm of your own breath. So as we create heat in the body, helping to remove tightness and tension in the body, allowing then the prana, the life force that travels on your breath, to move freely throughout the body. We'll do one more. And then pausing and holding in your goddess pose. Know that you can release your arms down if it becomes uncomfortable for your shoulders. But once again, glance down and check that your knees are tracking the center of your foot. If you can't see your big toes, then your tailbone's tucked under. So we still need this deep hip crease here to have neutral pelvis. So imagine there's a little stool behind you and you're sitting your hips back and down to sit into the stool. And lifting your breastbone, reach up through the crown of the head, and then really be expansive in your chest, reaching your elbows out. And breathe. And wish goodwill to all beings. Relax your jaw. Straightening the legs, release the arms. Pivot your feet now to the other side where your left foot's going to be at front. Just lower the hands to the floor for a moment. so that you can line up your left heel with the middle arch of your right foot. Bend the front knee, stack it over the ankle, then push into the floor, unfurl up. So we're coming up through the deep front core line, then lead with the elbows, extending the arms out. Glance down, is your left knee lined up with the center of your foot? Anchor into your right foot, right hand to shoulder. Move the right shoulder back to get the broadening and opening into the chest, and then extending from the elbow. Eye gaze down your front middle finger. Releasing your arms down, straightening your front leg. Again, pivot and turn to the side. Taking the arms up overhead. Exhale, sitting the hips back and down into goddess pose. Release the arms down, straighten the legs as then you take the arms up overhead. Exhale, goddess, hips sit back, elbows out to the side. Let's do another two of these. And then pausing in your goddess, once you get there, bring your right forearm over onto your thigh and extend your left arm over. Staying strong through the legs, holding you up, supporting you. Breathe into the left side of the body. Inhale back into goddess. And then left forearm onto thigh and reaching your right arm over. Inhaling into goddess. Exhale, press through the feet, straighten the legs, release the arms down, turn the toes slightly in, heels slightly out. Bend your knees and bring your hands right down into your hips crease. So right down where Barbie and Ken have that crease. So bring your hands into there, bend the knees, and as you fold forward, you're wanting to fold forward from this area so that the hips crease deepens and eats your fingers. Once you get forwards, release the hands down and let your head relax. Stay actively pressing into the feet, so push into the feet. We're keeping the knees slightly bent so you've got the flexion in the hips. Then press through the hands, lift the chest, turn the toes slightly out, heel slightly in, sit the hips back down, lift the head, normalize the blood pressure, and then unfurl just the torso back into goddess. Oh, good morning. You're invoking your inner goddess, Andrew. And then straightening the legs, releasing the arms down. If you've got a blanket there, you can move it off. Heel toe your feet in a little closer for Malasana squat. Now, if when you lower into Malasana squat, your heels, as you get down lower, your heels want to lift, place your heels up on a pillow or up on a blanket so that you can ground down through your heels. Because if your heels lift and there's nothing to push them, ground them down into, all the pressure will come into your knees, and you don't want that. Toes slightly out, and your heels will probably be about as wide as your shoulders. So a little bit wider than your hips, as wide as your shoulders. Bring the palms together in the heart center. Take a deep breath in. And then exhale, sinking your hips back and down. All the way into Malasana. If coming into Malasana is not good for your knees, what you could do is come to here with your forearms on your thighs. Still going to get this opening through the hips, but no pressure on the knees. If you're sitting all the way down, have the elbows push the knees out wide and then lifting your chest. Let the hips be heavy. So Malasana can be really good for relieving lower back pain because there's no weight bearing in your lower back in this position. It can be done leaning up against a wall as well if you feel like you need some support. Now prepare to come out. So bring awareness to your feet first because that's what's going to bring us out. Pressing through the 10 toes, the balls of the feet, and then bring the weight slightly back into the heels. You're going to push through the heels, and when you're ready on an exhale, press through the heels and come all the way back up. Oh, that was fun, wasn't it? If you have a block, grab a block. You don't need a block, but if you, we're going to prepare to come into Bakasana, crow pose. If you have a block, you can try using it as a perch. Because usually what happens in Bakasana, and all Bakasana crow pose is finding the balance between your head and your hips. So if we've got a block or even a thick book, dictionary or something like that, a thick book you could stand up on. Something solid though. So the knees are going to be out wide, hands a little bit further forward of the shoulders so the weight can transfer forwards. So this is just one variation with the block. And what you can see is my head and my hips are very close to being already the same height. So all I have to do is transfer the weight forward into my arms to find the balance. When transferring the weight forwards, firstly, I need to bend my elbows, hug the knees in as tightly as I can. And as I do that, I kind of have activated all these outer oblique muscles and lat muscles. And then I'm going to push with my elbows out. So I open up the chest and I've engaged the front deep core line as well. Find a drishti point, you push through the feet and shift the weight forward. You will find center of gravity when your elbow is directly above your wrist. Keep your eyes on the drishti point. You don't have to lift your feet all the way up. If you want to, you can lift the feet. So the same thing on the floor without the block, only you've got to get your hips up. So a good way to do that is lift your heels and then squeeze the knees in, push the elbows out, eye gaze forward, push through the feet. You can lift one foot, lift the other. If you want to try lifting both, you can lift both. But keep squeezing the knees in on the elbows and the elbows in on the knees. If you need a rest for your wrists, just sit back and give them a little circle, the hands at the wrists. And let's have another go, why not? So bending the elbows, lift the hips up, squeeze the knees in, push the elbows out, look forwards, transfer the weight forward onto the hands. And then coming down and coming all the way down. So coming into Dandasana or stick pose. Again, if it's not comfortable just for you sitting just flat on the floor with a straight spine, a neutral spine, so you sit on the floor and it pulls you back like so. If you don't have a blanket or a pillow, just bend up your knees. If you do have something high to sit up on to elevate the hips, then do that. Crossing your right leg over your left. Or here, Amy, on this one, just bend your knee and take the knee out to the side because we're going to twist to the right. So right leg crosses over, place your foot on the floor, anchor down through both sit bones, and use that anchor. So push through the sit bones as you reach to the crown of the head and lift your arms up. And then exhale, twisting all the way to the right. Hug your knee in. That's it. Relax your shoulders. Steady your eye gaze on one point. Relaxing your jaw, your tongue. Relax your belly as you breathe in. And slowly releasing to the front. Extending your right leg out, bending your left knee up, crossing it over, pressing down through your left foot, anchoring out through the right. Push down through the sit bones as you lift the arms up, and then twisting to the left. Relax your shoulders, moving your left shoulder back to broaden and open into the chest. You can turn your chin to where it's comfortable for your neck. And slowly releasing to the front. Extending your both legs out in front for Paschimottanasana, or a seated forward bend. Seated forward bend, bend your knees as much as what you need so that you can sit right up on your sit bones. Ground down through the heels, feet are flexed, and then push through the sit bones. Try and lift your knees, and notice this already brings flexion into our hips, yeah? So we want this as opposed to if you lift your chest, you can easily lift and jam back into the kidneys. Whereas if we get the flexion from the hips by lifting the knees, then we're using our psoas muscle. Then take the arms up and exhale, folding forwards, belly to thigh, chest to knees. You can rest your hands by your side or you can hold onto your feet, but keep the shoulders relaxed. Let your head be heavy. If you're more flexible in your hamstrings, feel free to extend the legs a little further. But really wanting this to be a release for your back body. Just noticing where you can relax, where can you let go. To come out of Paschimottanasana, bring your hands by your knees, press to lift the chest up. And then make your way down onto your back for a happy baby pose before Shavasana. So if you want to place the bolster behind your knees already for Shavasana or pillow, you can get that ready first. If you're on a hard floor, open a blanket or something out underneath you before coming down so that it's soft underneath you. Have something handy to place over your eyes for Shavasana, if that's a eye pillow or a t-shirt, towel. And then come on down. Happy baby pose. Start by hugging your knees in towards your chest. Take the knees out wide, flex your feet. Turn the soles of the feet to face up. And then arms come from in between the legs, either holding onto little toe side of the feet or the ankles, and pull down quite firmly with the hands and then push the feet up against the hands. So you're creating resistance where the tailbone wants to lengthen towards the floor rather than if you're just pulling with your hands, you curl your tailbone up. You want to try and find neutral spine. Then chin in towards your throat so the neck is long. Just relax your shoulders. Take a couple of breaths here. And bringing the soles of the feet together. Keep the knees opened out wide, just lowering your feet onto your pillow or your bolster. And then bring hands to opposite elbow and reach your arms back behind you. If that's not comfortable for your shoulders, please feel free to take your arms out to the side in the form of a cross. But just relaxing here in a reclined bound angle for a moment, closing your eyes down. And bringing your arms by your side, bringing your knees together, extending one leg out and then the other for Shavasana. Covering your eyes, covering yourself with a blanket if you're feeling cool. And once you get comfortable into your Shavasana where you feel supported, bring your awareness to your breath. You're breathing in and out through both nostrils. And practicing Samavriti to help keep the mind focused as you relax into Shavasana. As you breathe in, count your breath at a pace that's comfortable for you. And inhale for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4. And then a regular breath in and out. Inhale for a count of 4. Exhale for a count of 4. And then a regular breath in and out. Let's continue with the Samavriti pranayama. You might find that as you relax deeper into Shavasana, you eventually let go of the pranayama, but know that it's there for you to come back to if your mind gets distracted. Taking a deep breath in and out. And start to wiggle your fingers, your toes, making whatever movements you need to with Shavasana. And then eventually bending your knees up, rolling to the right side. Pressing your hands into the floor and come up into a comfortable seated position. And then bring your palms together in the heart center in Anjali Mudra. And repeat your intention to yourself once more. So you can take it with you off your mat and integrate it into your day to day. Now let's chant together once the mantra Om. And we'll break it into 3 sounds of Ah, O, and M. Taking a deep breath in. Lifting your thumbs to your forehead. Namaste.